This episode of Dan 3.0 is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at audiblepodcast.com/Dan30.
Hey world!
English, check it off the list.
Now I'm gonna get the ball rolling on a task before I even get out of bed today. Check this out. There have been a couple of popular tasks submitted to the decision engine saying that I should start my videos by saying, hey world, in a different language every day. Simple enough, that can definitely be done, but I do need a little bit of your help. See, I only speak English, but I know that a lot of you guys are from a lot of different places and know a lot of different languages. So if you would be so kind as to post a video response to this video on YouTube explaining to me how to say hey world in your native language, that would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, I'm gonna go get ready for the day and then check back in with you guys in like a half hour or so. So right now I'm daily boothing. Beautiful.
And as part of the booth, I wrote out today's plan, the plan for today.
I am going to go to the bank so that I have a bank account here in San Francisco, so I'm not just using my Nebraska bank account. I'm going to go to the hardware store to pick up some plywood so that when we do Wall Wednesday later today, I don't have to nail things directly into the wall. And then I am going to have to be home by noon to wait for an internet person to show up here to set up my internet. So far I've just been using this little USB thing which just has 3G speed internet, which works, but I mean, I'm ready for real internet. And then as we are waiting for internet person, well, I'll film Wall Wednesday, and depending on how long it takes for them to get here, hopefully they'll get here in time for me to go looking for a bicycle tonight. But okay, it is time for me to go run my boring morning errands. I'm gonna leave my camera behind here, but I'll be back by noon.
Did I say by noon? I meant around noon.
No, even though it's 12:20 now, I've actually been back here since pretty darn close to noon, so I highly doubt that I missed Mr. Internet Man. They said that they would get here anytime between noon and 4, and so right now I'm looking for the router that they sent me that he's going to be setting up. Honestly, I have no idea where I put that. I don't know where it could be. Hello?
No.
Hello?
I don't see it in there either.
It's the gremlins. The gremlins are stealing shit.
I know what happened. I had a whole bunch of stuff lying right here that I needed to ship. And then in a pile that I knew was separate, I had just stuff right here that was mine, including the router. But when a Dorian was here last Saturday helping me pack everything up, I was off in the other room doing something, and he was like, what can I do to help? And I was like, there's a bunch of stuff by the door that I need to ship off. If you just put it in boxes, that'd be great. He didn't know any better, but he put the router in a box, and I shipped off the box, and it's now on its way to being halfway across the country. So hold on, BRB, I'm gonna call the internet company and see if there's just something that we can do to figure this out. Alright, everything went better than expected. I called the ISP and they're going to make sure that the guy who comes out to install my internet has an extra one with him. But anyway, right when I got back from my errands, I was going to talk about my errands, but then this came up. So let me talk about my errands. I told you I was going to go to the bank and then that I was going to go to the hardware store to pick up plywood so that we could use that instead of an actual wall for Wall Wednesday. So I went to the bank and that took the entire time. Like, I don't know, I do that a lot. I feel like I think that things aren't going to take that much time, but then they wind up taking a lot longer than I think that they're going to. And I'm not sure if that's just me, or if it's me right now because I'm going through a move, or if it's just a part of the human condition. So I don't know, talk to me here a little bit. Do you guys find that when you set out to do something, a lot of the times it turns out to take a lot longer than you initially planned for? Or is it just me? Do I just need to learn how to manage my time better? By the way, I don't know if you know this about me, but I love tuna. It's probably my second favorite fish to eat, right behind a dolphin. Internet Man is here. Alright, Internet Man just left, and it took him a long time. I think it took him like 2.5 hours. It's almost 5 p.m. right now, but the end result is well worth it. This might come to you as a shock, considering that I do this for a living, but this is the first time in my life I've had a fast enough internet connection to watch YouTube videos in HD. But errands! I have just been doing errands all day. I went to the bank, I got my internet configured. I haven't been doing any tasks. I'm ready to do a task. Let's do Wall Wednesday. In case you are out of the loop, Wall Wednesday is something that I started long before Dan 3.0 ever was even an idea, where I opened up a post office box and told my viewers, send me stuff, I'll put it on the wall behind me. Now, I stopped doing Wall Wednesday just before Dan 3.0 began, but last week, due to overwhelming demand, I think there was a task with like 1,500 votes or something ridiculous, I decided that it's time to bring back Wall Wednesday. So now here's the deal. Because we just announced Wall Wednesday last week, there hasn't been enough time to receive a whole lot of mail yet. I think we've gotten like one
one or two things.
But I have a little pile of stuff left over from my last wall, and we'll put that up today.
And this morning, at the beginning of this video, I know I was talking about going to the hardware store to pick up some plywood to put up on the wall. The logic there being that if I needed to nail something, I wouldn't be nailing it straight into the wall, because I don't think that would make my landlord particularly happy. But I've been thinking about it, and I'm not sure that was the best idea in the first place. I think that what makes the most sense is just to establish right from the get-go here a no nailing policy. I am only going to be taping things to the wall. If I would have to nail it, it's not going to get put up. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't send me anything three-dimensional that wouldn't be able to be taped to the wall. I mean, I've got lots of shelf space that I would love to fill up with awesome shit, but just know that if you do send that in, there's a chance that it's just going to be sent right to the garbage can. Anyway, blah, 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 ramble, Dan Brown. We are sick of hearing you talk. We just want to see you put stuff on your wall. Okay, let's do it. So there we have it, folks. It's a start. This is like the third or fourth time I've started a new wall, and every time I start one, it's kind of awkward because it takes a little while for there to be enough stuff for it to be dense enough for it to have the real like collage-y feel that we're going for. But I mean, we're going to keep doing this. You guys are going to keep sending stuff in. I'm going to keep putting it on the wall, and by the end of the project, I mean, gosh, I shudder to think by the end of the project what this wall might look like. If you have something you want me to put on my wall some week, you can send it to Revision 3, attention Dan Brown, 2415 3rd Street, Suite 232, San Francisco, California, 94107. As you can see by the clock behind me, it is now 8:40 p.m. and I'm getting ready to head out. If you'll recall, at the beginning of today's episode, I said that I would hope to have time to go looking for a bicycle tonight. Now, obviously, being that it's 8:40, I'm not about to head out on some epic bike shop adventure. But that's because I don't need to, because today while Internet Man was here, I got a call from Felicia at Revision 3 telling me that Ryan at Revision 3 had a bike that he was selling and that it was a really nice bike. He'd only used it a couple of times, and that he'd give me a real good deal. So Ryan, while you're pumping up the bike, you want to explain why I need a bike in the first place?
There's two reasons I think you need a bike.
Okay.
First of all, your viewers have asked you to leave a smaller carbon footprint, which a bike will do for you. Secondly, in San Francisco, lots of people have bikes, and having a bike is pretty cool. And at the same time, you're not A, using gas, and B, losing your parking spot. I bought this bike a couple years ago at REI, but I haven't ridden it in probably a year because I bought that bike. I'd recommend taking it in for a tune-up just to make sure that everything's oiled and that everything works, and that the brakes work, especially because there's lots of hills in San Francisco.
And just like that, it is Thursday.
So yeah, I've got a bike now.
I mean, like Ryan said, I've still obviously got to get it tuned up. I can't use it just yet. But once it's all good to go, there are a lot of tasks, actually, that require the use of a bicycle. I'm particularly excited by the reduce your ecological footprint task. I mean, the main way they suggested to do that was by riding a bike everywhere, but we can expand on that even further. I mean, it's not something that I really want to talk about too much right now, because I figure it'll just play out as it plays out. But I'm just excited that we're finally getting into tasks that are like real lifestyle changes. I mean, that's what Dan 3.0 is supposed to be all about. So right, I will keep you updated on the bicycle situation. Another situation I want to make sure I keep you up to date on is the continuous task situation. Voting for the first continuous task of the Dan 3.0 project has been going on for a little while now, and I'm ready to announce the winner. It was pretty close between 3 of the 5 finalists. I think it was learn to play a musical instrument, answer comment questions at the beginning of every episode, and volunteer every week. But I checked the poll about an hour ago and closed it, and volunteering every week was pretty decidedly ahead. So I don't know how or where just yet, but from here on out, once a week, I will be volunteering in some way, shape, or form. But anyway, that's everything that I have to report to you guys for this episode of Dan 3.0. You ready for sponsor time? Let's do sponsor time. Today's episode of Dan 3.0 has been brought to you by Audible.com. Audible.com is the world's leading provider of downloadable digital audiobooks. Audible has over 75,000 titles to choose from that you can download onto your iPod or MP3 player and play back anytime, anywhere. I mean, they've got thrillers, they've got mysteries, they've got historical fiction, they've got real history, they've got comedy, they've got science fiction, they've got everything. And what's super hella sweet is that as a Dan 3.0 viewer, if you sign up for Audible, they will give you a free audiobook download. Just head on over to audiblepodcast.com/Dan3.0 to sign up. And if you don't know off the top of your head what free book you want, might I suggest something that is one of my favorite books that I think you guys will really like. It's called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a funny, science fiction-y, philosophical epic by the late, great Douglas Adams. You should Google it. But yeah, once again, that is audiblepodcast.com/Dan3.0. Anywho, that just about does it for me for today. Thank you oh so very much for watching this episode of Dan 3.0. I hope you'll tune in again on Friday for another... Yeah, this is hard. I need you guys to like suggest adjectives for me so that I just have a bank of adjectives to go through. Because I mean, like every day I do this, I start filming. It's just like I don't know what I want to say.